I'm in Orgiva, or actually outside Orgiva, with the owner of the fabulous Orgiva tea garden, and it's Byrne, who is English, and he originally bought the wonderful property in 2004 and completely transformed it. So, Byrne, tell me how you followed your dream.
Right, well, my family has always had a background linking it with Spain. My father's was in the British Council, and his last posting was in Madrid in the 60s, so that was my first memories of Spain. I was back at school in the UK, but I'd come out for holidays. And then I also had a sister who had a business in Marbella for 15 odd years.
So you had a long connection with Spain.
Long connection with Spain, and you know, it sort of gets into your blood.
And you speak Spanish, of course.
My Spanish is fair. I'm not going to say any more than that.
Okay.
And then we, myself and Kay, my wife Kay, we often discuss the possibility that, you know, one day we might do something completely different. And we had a chance meeting with an old school friend of mine who was looking at the possibility of moving to France, and this would have been in about 2001, 2002, and we came away from that saying, you know, that's something we ought to think about. And so really it was 2003 we really started thinking about it seriously. And we came out...
When you say thinking about it, you mean as a tea garden or as a menagerie or what?
No, the original idea... Well, the original idea was to come out to move possibly to Spain. And then the question is, yes, what do you do? And our original idea was to set up a tennis club.
Huh.
And people say to me, oh, well, you're a professional tennis player, and anybody who listens to this who knows me would laugh their hats off. No, I started playing tennis in my 40s, but loved the game, and I'm quite good at teaching beginners. So we just thought that
So you're a professional tennis player?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
I'm saying I'm not. I'm the furthest from it. I'm a medium player,
Okay.
but I'm quite good at teaching youngsters or beginners.
And
so that was the idea.
Did you know about gardening?
We had a garden, but like most people in the UK, we had a townhouse in Aldershot, a Victorian semi-detached. The garden was probably 60 foot by 15 foot or 20 foot, and we gardened in our spare time.
And how many acres do you have here?
Here we have just under 4 acres.
4 acres, okay. And did you design the garden yourself?
Yes. All that there was here when we came here were olive trees and orange trees and waist-high weeds, nothing else. There was no garden as such. And in fact, nobody had lived in the property for 25 years before we came here. So it was fairly overgrown. The house that was here was a ruin. It wasn't a ruin that you could patch up. So we arrived here in the summer of 2004.
How many years did it take you to get it?
Well, it took 2 years to build the house. So the old house, the ruin got taken down, and you'll see that round the garden behind you. There's the rockery. That's where most of it got dumped, and all the old stones and beams. We've used what we can. So we actually moved in to live in the summer of 2006, 2 years later.
2006?
Yeah.
So we're now 2017. How long have you been open to the public?
This is our third season.
Your what?
Third season.
Third season. Yeah. And how come you had the idea to open it to the public? I know it's only open once a week, and obviously special occasions, but what gave you that idea?
Well, that was thrust upon us because having come to this part of the world for a specific reason of setting up a tennis club...
Which you never did.
No, one of the vagaries of rural Spain is sometimes decisions change, and without getting into too much detail, after we'd moved here and sold lock, stock and barrel in the UK, things changed. The local town council changed their mind and blocked the tennis
Oh
project.
dear.
And that took about 4 years of either fighting in the courts or
Oh.
hoping and keeping our fingers crossed.
Very
that things would change.
stressful.
Yeah, very, very stressful. So once that idea had gone, like a lot of expats in this area, you clean pools, you dig people's gardens, you do taxi work, and but eventually you decide you've got to do something. You know, you've got to think of something.
And
a
you
bit more
decided that you rather liked digging land.
yeah, and I suppose, to be fair, we'd always started on the garden, and once it got fairly established, people were very complimentary and said what a nice place it was. And so, yeah, 3 years ago we thought, well, you know,
Yeah, but you've got animals. You've got a llama. You've got I think you've got pigs. I haven't seen them yet, but and ducks. How did all that happen?
that happened, I suppose, because I love animals.
Yeah, well, don't we all?
I came from a family of no animals.
Yeah.
My parents travelled because my father was in the Foreign Office, so I had no upbringing of animals, but I always wanted and liked the idea of animals. So yes, we have the space, and also, to be fair, animals are are attraction for the garden. Children like to see animals, so that's always good.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Bernie, and I look forward to going round the garden.
Pleasure.
Bye.